Hello, welcome to True Crime Broads. This is Crystal.
And Renee.
And today we're doing something a little bit different. We have a different format. We're going to actually be doing sort of like a narration over a commentary over the surveillance video from Creekside Church.
Okay, so something we've wanted to do for a really long time, and it is, be able to watch the video and discuss it at the same time. So here we go.
Okay, here we go. The perpetrator is walking out of that room. He or she has the hand kind of touching the wall as they go by. Let's discuss that for a minute before we move on. Okay. So many people throughout the years have speculated that maybe the perpetrator was trying to maybe steady themselves by putting their hand on the wall. And to me, it doesn't look like they were holding on to it enough to do that. It almost looks like just boredom, like what you said before, and just like touching the wall, just something like that's kind of a sign of boredom, just sort of like touching something as you walk by.
Yeah, you're just like, it doesn't look like they can't walk because they don't do that through the entirety of the video. So it's obvious that they are able to walk. I think it just, like you said, they're just there. Yeah. And they're like, just.
And I've had a couple of times when I had vertigo and I did need to grab the wall to steady myself, and it didn't look like that. They just lightly touched it for a second.
Yeah.
I don't believe that would steady anyone.
Yeah. Well, and they were kind of dragging too. They weren't really holding on. They were kind of dragging. So, all right, we'll move on.
All right, this is interesting. The perpetrator opens this door. We don't know what they're doing, but they don't last in there very long, and they come out.
Now, did they have that hammer in their hand when they went in?
Let's go back.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Perp is in. Okay, let's go before they go in. Okay, thank you. That's perfect. Okay, so the perp they've got something. There's something in their right hand. You can't really see what it is. They're looking
here they
around.
Start swinging it.
They're looking around. Pretty quickly come back out. Now they've got this hammer in their hand. And now they're like, oh, crap, this one's locked. And, okay, I've got time. There's nothing else to do. That's what I'm imagining they're thinking. Right. Just might as well try to open it.
Sort of. Okay, here, let's pause it here because I missed it just a little bit.
That's the part where they're kind of looking through their vest for tools.
See how they've got themselves stanced here?
Oh, yeah, good point.
That's another one.
That's a feminine-looking stance, absolutely.
And you can see the curved, what is that called? Because I know
calves.
The curved, I knew what the calves were, but
those are called legs. No, like hyperextension, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm so glad she's here to tell me their legs.
I know, you need me.
Okay. So they start tapping. I call it tapping because they're not even trying. I mean, I'm not going to break in anywhere, but I could definitely do better than that.
Absolutely.
Know? And then they start putting the tools in their. I wish I could quit getting that to pop up. They put their tools in their vest part, and then they start pulling out other ones.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're thinking. I mean, I don't think
there's the stand.
Okay, there we go. This one's really important for two reasons. One, you can see they're standing kind of like a lady stands. And the other important thing is they seem to be noticing the surveillance camera.
Yes.
And
like, uh-oh.
They seem to be thinking, thank God I'm covered up.
Right.
Because it looks like that's a live camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mentioned this in advance so you can watch for it when I press play again. But when they get down here towards the right corner of the camera of what you're looking at, you'll notice they turn their head really far. And a lot of people thought that they were looking for Missy in this room right here. But that is actually, what is that called? Something, Holy Grounds. Mm-hmm. It's called Holy Grounds. It's the coffee shop. And that's like an accordion door that is pulled all the way across. So there's really nothing to look at there because it's not like it's a,
just like a coffee, it's like a counter.
Yeah, it's not like there's anything to see through there. So they're not looking in that. I think, it's my opinion, that they're turning really far away, like, don't see my face. Because they're getting closer to the camera.
Right.
Makes sense.
Okay, so let's watch what Renee just described. Okay, perpetrator is deciding they're going to move on. Now they're going across that. Now
watch right there.
See, they make a point of turning their head away.
Yeah.
Now, here's
really
something
far.
else. When I first saw this part of the video way back in 2016, I thought that looks like a lady.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I guess that's what the feminine sway they talk about early on. The MPD talked about. Can we go back and look at it one more time?
Yep.
When the perpetrator's walking across the tile right here, coming across the screen.
Watch their pace too.
Yeah, and a lot of people said that they could see blonde hair coming out of the back, but if you look at it as right there, thank you, you stopped at the perfect point. When you see it there, that looks like just a light reflection, either from the camera or apparently there's some kind of hall lights that are on 24 hours here for security purposes, and it looks like it's reflecting off of that helmet, but I was one of those people that was kind of like, yeah, I think I do see some hair coming out the back, but yeah, it doesn't look like it here. So we're seeing a lot of optical illusions. These are probably not the highest quality surveillance cameras. And also there's a lot of weird lighting. So we are seeing some kind of illusions here and there.
I want to back up one more time just for one more quick thing I want to look at. Okay, so remember when they're walking across here? They're walking across here and there's a good part. Remember the listener that we had that looked and you could kind of see a part of a face?
Yes.
I don't think you can ever see that at this point, though. I think that was just a fluke that we got that close or whatever. I don't know, but we'll
Just
we'll
got that screenshot.
We'll just try it.
Yeah.
It's like right there.
Yeah.
But it was moving and you can't really see it. So.
Right.
All right, we'll move on. Now here, where it switches camera, I just want to say this before it starts. You're going to notice the perpetrator walking at a different pace. I don't know that means anything.
Well, and there's that limp that everyone talks about. You see that? And when they first start, do you mind? There must be some type of an emergency here in Dallas. We're hearing sirens right outside our studio. Can you back it up a little bit?
Yeah.
So that we can see. Okay.
Right there?
Yeah. Do you see that right foot? It's turned way out, and it appears to be turned out farther than the left foot is. Oh, there we go. That's important too. That is the part where the perpetrator opens the Dutch door and kind of pops their head back.
Yeah.
And I honestly always thought that they popped their head back when they opened up the top part of the Dutch door. But what's actually happening is, as we can see here from pausing, they're actually popping their head back, probably just were surprised that only the bottom opened. And they were just thinking, oh, I need to move my head so that I can see better out of this helmet. It seems like, I just can't believe somebody that would want to come in and do something that's important and leave would put themselves in such a confining outfit. That would make me even more nervous. Yep. I mean, we talk about how scared Missy was, and that's really all that matters. But the perpetrator should have been scared they were going to get caught.
Yes.
And I would fear if I was trying to do something sinister, wearing something that confining and wearing shoes that clearly make my feet go all turned out. And you've got on this helmet that could mess up your peripheral vision. Now, if they are actually wearing tactical helmet, then you would think that police tactical gear would have good peripheral vision. However, if this is just a paintball or some other kind of motorcycle helmet, then that would explain, because it does seem like the perp right here was just trying to see around the helmet.
Yeah, they can't see out good enough, and they kind of have to adjust their neck and their head to be able to see out properly. All right, we'll watch as they go into this room.
And then they're not staying long. It's a kid's classroom. Who cares? Keep moving.
And see, they're walking much faster now.
Yeah.
They pop their head into this room for just a second.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of skips, and they start coming down the hall.
A lot of people say that they think the perpetrator was looking for Missy. I think it defies logic to think that Missy would show up before the perp and be like hiding in a room. That doesn't make sense. I really think they're burning. My opinion.
No, because their vehicle's not there.
Yeah, my opinion is that this perpetrator is burning off nervous energy.
Plus, they could also be trying to figure out where she would go into or where they did a class. She could be okay, let me think. Is it going to be in here? No, maybe not in here. Plus, they're, I don't know.
Okay, so in the right hand of the perpetrator, we believe we're seeing a tool there. Oh, it's a hammer. You can clearly tell it's a hammer. Now, Okay. When they go in the room, that's the first time we can see that they've got a helmet light flipped on. When they walked outside, they might have flipped it on their way back
That's
in.
true. Let me back it up.
Yeah, back that up, because that's where you can tell it's on. Look right here. See, you see it.
Yeah, you see it
but
shining.
you can really see it this direction. Right there. It reflected off that wall.
Yep, that's right. So they got the hammer and they got the headlamp. They go into this room.
Okay, so now they're coming out of that same room, and this is the youth. Okay, there. Headlamp is still on.
Yeah, you can see the reflection on the helmet.
And then they walk. Now they have picked up that mystery item that none of us has ever been able to figure out what it is in their left hand. It's a weird thing that they're holding. And then with their right hand, they're sort of making attempts to break the glass in that window. And then, as Renee pointed out, I had never noticed that before. You actually see the glass appear on the floor.
Yeah, you can see it actually falling as they're doing
That's
it.
amazing.
Yeah, watch.
I can't believe I never noticed that
it
before.
gets bigger and bigger, and bigger obviously with every break.
That's just wild. And, seeing this horrifying person just walking around knowing that Missy's about to get killed, it's just so horrible and eerie to watch.
It really is. Scary and very, very sad.
It's definitely the stuff that nightmares are made of.
Oh, my gosh, for sure.
This isn't, a lot of people have contacted us about the Eliza Fletcher case and said that, wow, that really reminds me of Missy, because it was someone who was harmed when they were out jogging and somebody exercising at 4:30 in the morning. But, it looks like, even though it's still very fresh and this just unfolded, but now the police really think it was random. And that this man saw her, and, a lot of people were speculating early on that maybe the husband was involved and she's like an heiress to some billion-dollar fortune. But now they're thinking it looked random. But I don't think there's anything random about Missy's case. I mean, you can't argue that this person spotted her and pulled over and decided to snatch her. This was something totally different.
Right.
And what else is really strange about this is apparently the Fletcher murder, the perpetrator has a history of raping. There doesn't appear to be a sexual motive here in Missy's case.
This one, yeah. Okay.
There doesn't appear to be theft. There doesn't appear to be any reason why. Well, obviously there's no reason to kill anyone, but there doesn't seem to be a motive here that makes any kind of sense at the beginning. You would have to really know what was in this person's head. Yeah, because it's not a sex crime.
Yeah.
It's not a robbery of
there
any
was
kind.
something that motivated them, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah, and something made this
revenge.
Well, and it's also someone who's obviously a sick individual, because I think we've all had horrible things happen to us, and people maybe stabbed us in the back. But did we get up in the middle of the night and dress up and drive to a church and murder them?
Never even thought about it. I was too tired. I'd go to bed.
Yeah,
doing
no
all
kidding.
that.
But I mean, that obviously there's something deeply, deeply disturbed about this person.
Absolutely.
But in their minds, there was some motive.
Yeah. So whenever I finish this, I saw this earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and point it out now. I'm not real sure why, and I'm going to have to ask. But this just tells you to contact police if you have any information. You can remain anonymous. Call Ellis County Crime Stoppers. This is not the number. Maybe it was then, but I've never heard of it being this number. But the actual number is 972-937-7297. I saw that.
That's wild.
I know.
I think that they just did a typo. Because it's only one digit off.
That's just horrible.
Do you mind scrolling? Do you mind going back the other direction a little bit? I meant to point this out. We did on our practice run, and I didn't do it this time. Anyone who does have information, please call the Midlothian tip line at 972-775-7624. Or if you're going to contact Crime Stoppers, use the P3 app.
Yep.
Or use the correct phone number, which is 972-937. Did you say it's
7297? Yep. Yeah, it's just one digit off.
That 2 on the end should be a 7.
Yep, that's right. Well, thanks for joining us and listening to us while we go over the surveillance footage, something we've wanted to do for some time. I mean, there's a lot of, I think you could go over that video so many times, but I really think it's interesting, all the different aspects of it. Of course, I wish they would release more of it, but
if there's anything more to see, it would be nice to see it.
It really would.
But yeah, thanks for joining True Crime Broads, and we will see you next time.